Right, let's get stuck in. So, I think I'll come into there, around there, up there, like that. Let's get a little bit of some nice creamy colours in there. Something like that, that'll do. Then some bit of civilian blue in there. A few bits of civilian blue through there. You know what, I think there's a little bit of purpley grey colour in there, and let's whap a bit of that in. Oh, I've gone too grey. Oh, that's nice. Well, I've got a right nice colour now. So we'll have some of them purpley greys in as well. Something like that. That'll do. If I dab a few clouds at that, I might be able to stop some of this spreading too much. Oh, that don't look bad to me. Actually, dabbed out a bit much there. Let me drag some of that colour through there. That's better. Dragged out a bit much there. I'll drag some through a bit that way and all. That's nice. There we are. Right, let's get some yellow in these bushes, I think. Like that. A bit of yellow in these bushes. A bit more. There'll be all my highlights in it. Right, now let's get some. Tell you what, I'll pop a bit of yellow in there. Not going to be much in there when I'm done, but I'll stick a bit in. Right, it's going to be a lot of blue in that actually. So let's come up and get a bit of green up there. Say a bit of green in. So a bit of green in that bit there. Something like that. Right, let's get some of that pinky blue colour I've used in my sky. I've dipped my brush in without washing it, so whatever pinky blue, it's mixed with that green. So just that colour I use for them pinks. That's just mixed, look. Coming around my stuff here, look. So that's my highlights. And into there. Now, what's that looking like now? Not looking bad. I think what I'll do, come back into that if I need to add another layer. There's no point in me going over and over and over it. It's not going to work. Right, what shall I do now? Let's get a nice... Shall I try a nice spike? I don't know what I'll do for now. I'll use some of that green again. It's quite some of the light green. Some of that light green there. Plenty of water. That's two. That's it about there. Plenty of water. And just get some of this light green. And I'm just going to pull it into there, like that. And that's it. I don't want this green, so I'm just going to dab back. I just want it to fade in gradually, naturally into the green. But I don't want the actual stuff green. Right, so that's that. Right, now then, I'm thinking now, maybe get my bushes in. Is that dry enough to do it? Well, there's only a long way to find out. Mix my colour up. And then I'm going to need end of my brush bashed up. More than that. Let me get my tea towel, bash it up on my tea towel, that should do it. There, that should be okay. There, bash the end of my brush up like that, look. Spin it around so I get some different shapes and stuff. There. Hopefully that'll give me some bush shapes. There we are. Looking good. There we are, that's my underpainting for my bushes. So that's sad. Let's rinse my brush out. Same again, I want that there smoothed off. I don't want too much green in here because me sand, don't want green, I want it as a sandy colour in it. So let's have a look, let's put some of that sandy colour in there, I think. Right, let's wash this brush off totally, whack some sandy colour in. Right. Right, so we'll have some in there. It's a very nice colour that, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, that's my sandy colour. It's probably is going to mix with that green back there, a bit pain. Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad at all, that. So that's into there. Come on, wait. Right, now then, there's some... Oh, let's go for that one. Some nice darker cream colours gradually coming down and blending in to that. Just a little bit, not too much. And then right at the bottom, let's dip that same cream colour into some Bon Tomber. Right at the bottom, where it's wet, it's blending in. It just goes darker where the water hits it and wets it, you see. And then it's got to obviously blend its way. I'll put a few bits back in there again for a bit of texture. This can sort of bump like that. Let's wash that brush out, soften some of that in. There we are. That is about right for me for that. Right, I'm definitely going to need some darker colours in there, I think. Let's get some blue. A bit of blue. It's a bit of blue in, it's quite far away, you see, so a bit of blue mixed in there, that's nice. And then some more of like a monkey green. Very, very far away. Something like that. Line across bottom there. That's it. Now I wonder if I can sort of bash this brush up a bit on the end, sort of get that for them bushes, look. There. I think that sort of works okay. Something like that for my bushy bits. Right, tell you what, shall we get it all dry? Just try that brush off a minute. Where's my tea towel? Pick up some of these puddles of water, I think, before I start drying. Just pick up some of them. There. Some of these puddles. Little puddles, look. Get some of them. There. Let's get the whole thing and blast with it dry. Next, whack some water in. So that's cerulean blue in sky. Let's go for a. I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's go for a glaze. A cerulean blue, all the way across this water like that. Look, just a thin glaze of cerulean blue. I might even put a few thicker streaks in it just for a bit of. Yeah, why not? Just for a bit of texture. Something like that. Probably gone too thick in that back bit. So we'll just go take some bits back out, something like that. That should give me a decent cerulean blue glaze. That's nice. Right. So no, I don't want any shadows. There's none on my picture. let's just leave that for now. Right, let's dry my brush up and start working on these bushes here. So if I mix a darker green in there, get a darker green mixed up, start looking at some of these bushes. What's that look like as a green? Oh, that looks nice. Into there with my spiky look. It's like I say, I've got some spiky brushes what I bought before I knew what I was doing. I was buying loads of brushes. Thought it'd make me paint brilliant if I had loads of brushes to paint bushes with. But what I found out is this brush pretty much does all lot. So nowadays, just tend to, well, no, so I still do use my other brushes because I just think I bought them, I might as well use them. But this one does do it all. So this one is my favouriteest. There, that's pretty good. Right, so now let's go darker. Get a darker colour. Get some of that blue in it. Bluey, blacky, browny colour. Let's just try that. A lot of black in there. Swap it for some brown. See, some of this stuff is not even green. It's never been green. But by the time I blend it in, it'll be alright. It'll just give me dark shadows. Look for in these bushes. There's one there, look. I suppose by not redipping my brush into my paint, it means as I go back, my dark shadows get a bit less. What's a good thing? Because then it makes it look more realistic. Right, so that's not bad. So if I redip that now into some lighter colour without washing it, let's see what green we end up with. Quite a nice one. So I can blend that all up, that. Leaving the yellow peaks, hopefully. Oh, there we are. Just leaving them yellow peaks on there. Hopefully that'll look like a nice bush. Yeah, and I can always come back in and do a little bit extra if I need to. Right, so that's that for now. Right, talking about a bit extra, do I need a bit more on there? Definitely doing my water. How dry is my water? Not bad. I probably could do with a bit of a soft. No, I'll let that dry a bit more. Right, I'll come back into me land a bit, I think, and just pop in a tiny little bit extra, just some bits and bobs, just to get the lay of the land in there and the feel of it and that. Yeah, that's it. Softening some of them greens in places. There we are. That's pretty good, I think. There's some little pebbles and stuff on that beach. Could put them in. I spray them in, but I always end up with in my water and everywhere. So I don't know. Might not bother. Let's have a go. Let's get a dark brown colour and have a little good look. And some little pebbles and stuff like. Just be careful, because I always end up with them all in my water. There we are. That's not bad, is it? And then I suppose I could pop a few bigger ones in, just some little bits and stuff. Oh, I've just thought this is still wet in it, so might be better waiting for this to dry before you do this. Just a few pebbles and stuff. There we are. Yeah, that's alright, isn't it? It'll know. Right. Let's mix up a colour now for my water. This water's not as smooth as it looks. There's some waves and things in it. So I think I've got a civilian blue and some purple in that sky, so I'm thinking, I'll tell you what, let's mix a bit of cerulean blue up first, very similar to cerulean blue. There we are, just pop a bit of that in there. Just like that, looks nice. That'll look mint when it's dried, because that'll dry less strong. Right, add a little bit of purple into it, just because that's what that sky's got a bit of purple in. So I'll just put some drops of purple in now and then in a bit I might take it back to a civilian or even a darker blue just to bring it in. There's some purpley grey in there. Let's pop a tiny bit of grey in. So I've added a tiny bit of grey into it now and all. That should look nice. There's a lot, as it gets closer, it's a lot more, looks a lot more choppy. Let's add a tad more water, tad more of that grey. See what that looks like. Boom, 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 boom. Get it more choppy if we can. Tad more cerulean blue. I'm changing my colours. Tad more of that purple. And a tad more of that grey. Yeah. We'll keep this pretty choppy. Tad more water. Yeah, it's pretty choppy, this water is. Getting some more blue. And some more grey. As you get closer, maybe put a bit more cobalt blue in instead of civilian, or any darker blue what you've got, and then add a bit more grey in perhaps, or maybe it's even mixing more of your reds to make your purple. Your red and blue makes purple, even mixing a bit more of them in might just help dark it so, but to the bluey side, so you've got a dark bluey purpley colour. That's what I'm going to try and do now. There, so I've added some more of that purple in, but not too much. Still kept it to the blue side. Try that. Oh, that's nice, look. I suppose it might start coming round at a bit more at that angle where it comes into this beach, I suppose, something like that. I might even just let that dry and then come back over it a bit. Shall we give this whole thing a dry? Aye, to dry. So what I'm going to do, it will take forever to dry with these dabs of water on it, so I'm going to just sort of soften some of them dabs out there. In fact, that's added to my texture on my water, quite like that. Right, I'm going to come back in and all and just do something in here. So I want some, let's mix up some sort of dark green colour. See what we can get. A bit of Bontumber, yellow and blue for your green, then add a bit of Bontumber or something to it. Just wait till you get something that looks sort of quite nice. Sort of, it hasn't even got the same colour as mine, just it's more tone. I'm just wanting more sort of that sort of tone, just to blend in, to get these to sort of match a bit better. There we are. Just to emphasise these bushes a bit better, really. Where they are. Not really bash the end up, but you can if you want. Might do a bit of softening off with my fingers, see if that goes nice. Probably well. I think that was right at the top of there, so I blend that in there like that. In fact, I know it does. See, let's bash the end of this brush up. There we are. Mash it up in my hand like that, look. And then I can just come in and do a bit of that and all. So that's my bushes in there. So it's bashing over everything now. There, that don't look bad, does it? For if you just get some, take it a bit lighter. Not quite that light, just a bit about like that, and I can just pop some extra bits in there, some extra bashy bits in there. Look. There. Oh yes, and that'll hopefully push that other stuff back. There we are. There. Hopefully you can see some lights and darks in there. I like some bits. Right. Oh, I ain't got no coffee. I'm going to go for my coffee. I could. Still not very good darks in there. Let me just pull a few darks out in there. So I'll get some, add some brown into that green and get a really dark. Even add a bit of Payne's grey in. I'm just going to come in and just pull some darks in like that. Look. Just soften them in. Soften them out a bit there, look. There. Bit in there, look. Not going to go mad. Something like that. There. So you can just see where there's a few bits and bobs. There's some in there, look. There's some highlights. Just pulls them highlights out a bit better, look. There. Something like that. And then wash my brush. Get my battered end up bit to blend. Don't even think I need to do this really. Blend it out a bit. There we are. And then where's me? What shall I use? Let's use one of these scraping knives, and we can just pop in a few little bits like that. Oh, that's always going to help. There, a few little twigs and bits and bobs, some grasses and stuff. There, that'll do. That's nice, isn't it? Right. I'm going to put another layer in there, I think, to get that a bit darker, and a fisherman. So let's give that one more blast with dryer. Right. Now, what colour have I got on this brush? I'm tempted. I do it just to come in here, get a really dark dull green on my brush, and just come in it right back here and just pop in tiny bit of reflection in there like that. Look, probably that's enough, and then wash my brush. Then with a clean brush, just get with a clean brush, just sort of soften it in a bit. There, I think that'll just show up quite nice. That looks nice, doesn't it? Bit of a reflection, and then probably in here there's perhaps a bit of dark reflection off them in there. So let's whack a bit of dark in there as well, just coming off at tops of them greens there, a little bit like that, not much, a little tiny bit, something like that. Again, rinse my brush completely off, squeeze it out a bit, take some water out, and just soften it in like that. Oh, sorry. Oh, just get that tiny bit of shadow from off at top of there. Right, this sort of dark bluey. So I want blue, purple, tiny bit of grey. Bit more blue, tad more purple. Let's try that. It's just for this. Closer up a bit here. It sort of swishes round a bit, round here, something a bit more like that. See, these ripples are coming a bit more round like that. So dip it into a bit of water so it softens off as it goes back, and then as we go back, and very, very soft like that's nice, isn't it? That just looks like a nice rough lake to me now. So that's sound. Right, we need a fisherman now. Let's have a look. Right, pop him in some green. Give him some green. So let's stick him. Where shall we have him? Let's have him about there. Probably want some thicker paint actually. There, thicker paint. Let's say him about there. So I'll bring his back arm out about like that. Look, front arm can be there, holding his fishing rod. I think there's too much water and not enough paint on there. Yeah, not better. Take some of that watery paint out. I'll add some thicker paint in. There, that's better. Want a nice thick paint to do this. There. That's in there. Gonna get a bit of flesh tone on his head. Got some flesh tone mixed up, but I don't know if it'll show up. Probably not, but I'll pop a bit there like that. Look, that's his face. I'll pop him some hair on after. See if that works. It might not work. Hey ho, here we go. Oh, hey ho, it's off to work we go. Talk about work. Gertie D. Let's give him some brown trousers. Gertie D, my mum, has been moaning that I get a job again. So what I did, I sneaked into a nightclub in town, right? Took a little bag with my eye karate aftershave in it, right? Pretended I were a toilet attendant. So I just kept seeing if anyone wanted like a bit of me aftershave squirting on. Just bought this cheap stuff. And put people a bit of aftershave on and that. Bob's your uncle, I'm telling you. There we are, there's shadow going up that way. Bob's your uncle. Work to dream. So I've just got to make sure I don't get caught, because I ain't got permission off at nightclub. But if I don't get caught, I reckon that's my new job. Pop a bit around there like that, and then soften it in, just for me Watercolour. There. It's where that ground's a bit wet, where water is. Always wets your water a bit. This is fiddling a bit now. What I always say, only fiddles if you've got a violin in your hand. If you ain't got a violin in your hand, then what is you doing fiddling in it? So that's that. I could do a bit down there, but I don't need to. I'm fiddling. Stop fiddling. Stop fiddling, Bertie. You're not on a violin. Right, let's get a rigger brush and put a nice fishing rod in. Think a bit of Payne's grey, and it's just mixed in with whatever mud's in the bottom of my palette at that, but you can just use a Payne's grey. Right, so if I bring my rod there, out of his hand, just right over there like that, straight through. There we are, that's his fishing rod, that's his shadow. Let's pop in a Peter and Paul, the two bods. Oh wow. He's close up. That's where it is. Don't worry about painting them like pterodactyls. It just means they're closer to you. So it don't matter. Let's pop in a B and a D. Stands for Bertie D. There we are. Sit on beach. Eat it.